Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it is August 1st, 2025, and last night I decided to revisit a topic that I hadn't visited in quite some time as far as sharing information about this topic. And I think it was probably a year ago or 2 years ago, I posted this on our website at mindfullivingsanctuary.com. All one word, Mindful Living Sanctuary. And this is emergency contact list health information. And you have to dig through the articles. I don't have the website really organized at this point, but it was to encourage people to get their details of them, their loved ones, their parents, their children, their grandchildren, whatever it may be. Those people that you care about, wanting to get everything together, legal documents, your personal information, primary contacts, family contacts, close friends, work contacts, neighbors in case they're going to take care of their pet, whatever it may be. So you can look at this. This is at mindfullivingsanctuary.com. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you. Today I posted a new article. I haven't looked at it yet, and it's titled "The Overlooked Lifeline: What You Should Maintain, Why You Should Maintain Complete Medical Records for Yourself and Your Loved Ones." And I won't read through this right now, but this is available on our website, mindfullivingsanctuary.com. And this is one of the things that I preach to my friends, my family, to all of my clients. I'm a retired veterinarian, an internal medicine specialist, and people are overwhelmed during emergency situations, or even if it isn't an emergency situation, just the mere suggestion that you mention a life-altering event sends people into a bit of shock. And as doctors, sometimes we forget these things, and we don't communicate effectively. So the main thing here is that you need to own the responsibility for yourself and those people that you care about. You can't transfer the responsibility to the doctor, to your primary care physician, to whoever it may be. They may be out of the picture, even not physically, but other things go on in their lives, and they may not be at 100% at any point in time. So let me go ahead and bring up. So I made a little spreadsheet last night, and to try and make this easier for people. So I'm calling this personal medical records full. And this is my first draft of it so far. But so this first tab, so there's multiple tabs. So we got basic information, medical log, over-the-counter supplements, so the medications log, over-the-counter supplements, doctor visits, lab and imaging results, surgical and hospital history, family medical history, vaccination, immunization record, and travel history. All of these things, although it may not seem like they're all that important, can be of significant importance when you're seeing a doctor for the first time in an emergent situation or in a critical situation, and they need to get as much information to accurately create the image of what's actually going on, what potentially could be going on, what medications they have to be concerned about that are in the system. Have they ever had a blood transfusion in the past? What type of blood transfusion? What the blood type is? What medications are on? The dosages, the frequency, and all sorts of things. So this is what I put together so far. So this is just going along here. So this is the information that we need to gather. This is for each family member, so this could be yourself or whatever. And I just put some data in here, but the legal name of the person, each person. So you just don't want to put down dad, you want to put down James J. Wallace or whatever it may be, and your mother's legal name, their date of birth. And in mine, I went ahead and put in a little formula just to go ahead and make it easy, because you may do this for, like I've got grandkids, great grandson. My parents have passed away. My wife's parents have passed away. But there could be any number of people that you want to keep that data for. Because you want to be there for them when they need help. So certainly their full name, and I made these so that and this is what I would suggest, so that it's a note. When you see this little corner thing here, you just hover over it and it'll say calculated from the date of birth entered. So that's the current age. So this simple little formula, look up here, it's just saying equals dated if B3 today, open close parentheses, comma, and yes, close parentheses. That's just the spreadsheet formula for getting this. So you can see there's different ages here. So if I were to change this to let's say I'm going to change this to 1961, you'll see the date's going to increase to 64 years old. So anyways, so this is the information, an idea of it, and this is also put in over here to make it easier over the notes and all. So, what their current age is, what their date of birth is, their blood type, their primary physician, and certainly I probably should in here their specialists as well. So someone may have a endocrinologist that they go to. So there's things, I just put this together last night. So they may have an endocrinologist. They may have a rheumatologist. You may even want to put down your physical therapist in there. I don't know. Your emergency contact information, that's really important. Your health insurance, what the number is as well. The provider, the plan, the ID number, known allergies, food, medications, or environmental allergens as well. Adverse reactions, any previous medication issues, chronic conditions. Does a person have chronic pulmonary COPD? Do they have sleep apnea? Do they have diabetes? Whatever it may be. Current medications, dosage and frequency. Ever have had a blood transfusion? If yes, what are the dates and what are the blood products? Recently, my brother, I believe, has had 3 transfusions due to anemia. Now, anemia can be caused by a whole variety of different causes, but you can break it down into 3 different main categories. One, the decreased production. They just aren't making the blood cells that they need in their bone marrow. And that can be as a result of chemotherapy. It can be cancer. And I won't go through all the differential, the list of possibilities, but it can be due to decreased production. It can also be due to increased destruction or shortage of the lifespan of those cells. And that can be immune-mediated diseases. It can be drugs. It can be cancer. There's a whole variety of lists. So as a clinician, we're always trying to see, all right, if the patient's anemia, is it due to decreased production of blood cells? Is it due to increased destruction of blood cells? Or is it due to blood loss? Now, that's pretty obvious. If you got a major laceration, that's really easy to see, but someone can have an abdominal bleed and bleed into their abdomen and it not be obvious. So I just wanted to mention that. So when we're talking about requiring a transfusion, you would certainly want to say what blood products were given. So let's say that there was blood loss anemia, so the patient was bleeding, and the bleeding may persist if coagulation factors aren't given. So fresh whole blood might be given. In some cases, cryoprecipitate may be given. In some cases, fresh frozen plasma may be given. In some cases, platelet-rich plasma may be given. So there's different blood different blood products that can be given to a patient, and so when you donate blood, that blood may get divided up into different blood products so that it can have more of an impact on more patients. So, and was there ever an adverse reaction? So your immune system is going to look at someone else's red blood cells as being a foreign entity. So the next time that a patient has a blood transfusion, it may trigger increased destruction and a crisis at that time. So just these are things, and I'm mentioning this because my brother just recently having had some transfusions. Then we got the family medical history, vaccination, immunization records, dental, vision history, environmental, food, medications, all of these things. But let's go down to the next tab down here. So this is the basic information here. And with this, if I wanted to, I could just go ahead and select all the way down here to these cells and just drag this over and duplicate all that information. So this might be my daughter's information, that sort of thing. So there's all those possibilities of what you can do with a spreadsheet. The benefits of having a spreadsheet: it can be on your phone, it can be on your computer. You can transfer that information right away. Like I mentioned, in an emergent situation, you may not remember all the medications. You may not remember that there was a mass in the abdomen that was removed 15 years ago. Or you may not remember all sorts of different things. But if you bring up that person's information on your phone in a spreadsheet format, it can be really, really beneficial. And I wouldn't want to just keep this in paper documentation. After my recent experience with the building collapse, there was so much paperwork that I had that was in the workshop that related to the title of equipment, the date purchase, the receipts, all of those things. When the building collapsed, or if somebody has a flood, or if someone has a fire. All sorts of things can happen to paper documents, and I think it's good to have a paper document, but this day and age, having digital copies is really important. So I'm not going to belabor this too long. So medication log. So the name of the drug, the dosage, the frequency, the start date, the end date, or you say ongoing, the reason, prescribing doctor, and notes. And it may start off at a certain dosage, and you say, okay, start, and then at end date you can say modified, and then you put the same medication again and say, okay, so we doubled the dose, or we increased the frequency, or we ended it at such a time because a rash developed, or there was nausea, or there was balance problems, whatever it may be. So, and I probably should have said here prescribing doctor and facility as well. So it might have been such and such a hospital or such and such a clinic and so on, but you can put all that information in notes. So these are the prescribed medications table here. So then we get over to the over-the-counter medications. These are the things. So here's an example that I would always think about. These over-the-counter medications, even though we have this medication log here, yes, and I'll be right down. I'm just recording a quick video. Sorry about that. I'll get through this quickly here. So this are the prescribed medications that probably your family members are going to remember and the doctor's going to ask about. But let's say there was a bleeding issue going on, and this patient was on glucocorticoids or corticosteroids, prednisone, dexamethasone, solu-delta-cortef, solumedrol, whatever it may be. And they're taking it. They've been on it for a while, and they've been taking it as prescribed. But over the counter, well, they had some backache, so they took some aspirin or ibuprofen or whatever. That information known at the same time would trigger the clinician, who's the emergency clinician or the criticalist, to think, oh my goodness, this drug interaction could have caused some bleeding. And the same goes for all different medical conditions. So, if the person's drinking pretty significantly, and that's a known issue, and they've been taking Tylenol or acetaminophen, then that can cause a whole plethora of problems as well. So, and even herbal things or homeopathic, I would list every single thing. Or if you're, there's people who are taking testosterone now, and this is going to change your lab results as well, and we'll get to that in just a second. Then doctor visits, all right, the date, the doctor, the facility, the reason for the visit, the diagnosis, treatment given. It might be just regular health checkup, checked such and such labs and all that. And the next tab, this is really, really super important. So you want to have your all of your imaging and diagnostic test results. So, and in the article that I wrote and put on our website, I go over how important it is to look at trends as opposed to individual lab results. So let's say you had your chemistry profiles for kidney function and all, and two of the variables that you're looking at is creatinine and blood urea nitrogen, these levels here. Well, if you saw that the blood urea nitrogen was going up and the creatinine was normal, well, you'd say, geez, I wonder if this patient has some intestinal bleeding that's causing the blood to get digested and therefore raise the level of blood urea nitrogen. Or let's say that when your chemistry is done, that your liver enzymes are usually at the very low end of normal. In other words, not even close to being in the abnormal range. But all of a sudden, after starting some medications and you do a lab test, the doctor says everything's okay, but you notice in the trend that, geez, usually my liver enzymes are at the low end of normal. Now they're at the high end of normal. So that would be a trigger for me to say, hey, we need to watch this closely, because it's not just that it's not in the abnormal range, but there's a significant trending change. We need to monitor this more closely. So that's one thing to think about. And surgeries and hospitalizations, what was done, and so on and so forth. Family medical history, your doctors ask, are your parents still alive? Any family members have cancer? All of that sort of thing. And then we also want to remember, vaccinations and or immunizations. So when they're given, the location and how it was given. I should have put that there. So some are given intramuscular, some are given under the skin, some are given intradermally, some are given intranasally. So, there's all the different ways. Getting the information about each immunization and all, and your notes about it. So you write as much as you think needs to be done there as well. And travel history. So travel history is also important. God, there were so many times that this made a big difference as far as the diagnosis that I had in my career. So even in the United States, you have someone who lives in New York, and they go to Tucson, Arizona, and they end up with valley fever, and as a result later on. So having the travel history is really important as well. So this is I'm going to call it my quick video going over what I think are some things that need to be kept. Read the articles, see what you think. Anyone can create a spreadsheet like this. These are pretty easy to create. You can keep them on your phone, keep them every place. Oh, the other thing is, make sure when you do have the imaging studies, ask them to burn a copy for you to a CD or to USB drive, and then make 2 copies of it. Keep them in separate buildings so that you've got these. Decades go by and things change over time, but as I mentioned, there's trends. So if you have an MRI and it's completely normal of whatever part of the body, and then you have to have one later on, it's really important to compare and contrast as well. Okay, so that's it for today's video, folks. I hope you found some value in this. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. And by all means, folks, stay safe and take care. Bye-bye now.